Welcome to Daily Dreamer, the podcast that provides practical tips and insights to help you reach your biggest dreams. Tune in for daily doses of motivation, inspiration, and actionable advice to turn your aspirations into reality. Whether you're looking to find clarity, boost your confidence, or stay on track with your goals, Daily Dreamer is here to guide you every step of the way.
Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are diving into the world of glucose.
Very important.
It is very important.
Super important. And we are going to be drawing on a lot of insights from a recent interview with Jesse Inchauspé, the glucose goddess herself, to understand just how big of an impact this seemingly simple sugar has on our health and well-being.
Yes.
So
big impact.
You might know that what you eat affects things like your energy levels, but did you know that it can impact aging, mood,
relationship,
even your relationships?
Oh, it's huge. Okay.
No, it's really fascinating.
I'm intrigued already.
Yeah.
So, I guess to kick things off.
Okay.
One of the things that Jesse talks about is this idea of being on a glucose roller coaster. Can you kind of explain what that is?
So most people don't realize they're on this glucose roller coaster every single day.
Okay, I have to admit that sounds a bit intense.
It is.
Is that what's happening when I feel that energy crash after a big meal?
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's say you have a sugary cereal for breakfast.
Okay.
That quickly turns into glucose in your body, causing this big spike in your bloodstream. Then your body releases insulin to deal with it.
Right.
And then your glucose levels just plummet. Leaving you feeling drained.
Yeah.
Craving more sugar.
So it's not just about avoiding diabetes.
Right.
It's about these constant ups and downs impacting how we feel all the time.
All the time. Yeah. And the research suggests that 80% of people experience these spikes daily.
Wow.
Regardless of whether they have diabetes.
That's a lot of us dealing with energy crashes and craving.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
So what kind of long-term damage are we talking about here?
Well, one major consequence is glycation. Which is basically sugar damaging the proteins in your body.
Okay.
So if you cook a chicken at a high temperature, it browns more quickly.
Yeah.
Glycation speeds up aging, leading to wrinkles, stiff joints, and even damage to your organs.
Okay, that is a vivid analogy.
It is.
I do not want to be a burnt chicken.
Yeah.
Are there any other consequences we should be aware of?
Constant glucose spikes also put a strain on your mitochondria.
Okay.
The energy powerhouses of your cells.
Right.
Imagine them going on strike.
Oh.
Because they're overwhelmed by the glucose influx.
Interesting.
That's a big reason why you feel fatigued.
Okay.
And then there's the impact of insulin.
Right.
When it's constantly being released to deal with those spikes, it can lead to weight gain and insulin resistance, which increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
So we're talking about fatigue?
Yeah.
Faster aging, weight gain, and a higher risk of diabetes. Yeah. It sounds like sugar is a lot sneakier than we think.
It is.
Now I have to ask about fruit.
Okay.
I always thought fruit sugar was the good kind of sugar.
Right.
Is that a myth?
It is.
Okay.
Your body doesn't differentiate between sugars, whether it's from fruit or candy.
Right.
It all breaks down into glucose. The sweetness in fruit comes mainly from fructose, which has a less dramatic impact on your blood sugar compared to glucose.
Okay.
This has led to the misconception that fruit sugar is better. But the truth is, many fruits, especially those that have been selectively bred for sweetness,
like
grapes, can cause surprisingly large glucose spikes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, so even natural sugars can be tricky.
They can be.
Okay. What about sweeteners? Are there any that are safe to use?
Sweeteners like stevia and monk fruit have minimal impact on glucose, so they're a better option than sugar.
Okay.
While aspartame doesn't directly raise glucose levels, it can still have some negative effects on your metabolism.
Got it.
But overall, though, all sweeteners are preferable to sugary sodas, which are loaded with glucose and have no nutritional value.
That makes sense. So cutting back on sugar is a good first step.
It's a great first step.
But Jesse also talks about these glucose hacks. Are those about strict diets?
No, not at all. These hacks are simple strategies to minimize those glucose spikes without feeling deprived.
Okay.
One of the most powerful hacks is starting your day with a savory breakfast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit.
Okay.
When it comes to my morning cereal, Why is a savory breakfast so important?
Having a sugary breakfast sets you up for a glucose roller coaster right from the start.
Yeah, okay.
A savory breakfast, on the other hand,
Yeah.
helps stabilize your blood sugar, giving you sustained energy
Right.
and fewer cravings throughout the day.
Okay, I'm willing to try it. What are some examples of Glucos Goddess-approved savory breakfasts?
Think eggs with avocado toast,
Okay.
a Greek yogurt bowl with nuts and seeds, or even leftovers from dinner.
Okay.
The key is to include protein,
Yeah.
healthy fats,
Uh-huh.
and a small amount of non-sugary carbs.
That actually sounds pretty delicious.
It is.
I'm seeing how these hacks can be incorporated into everyday life without feeling restrictive.
Yeah.
What's another hack that can help us flatten those glucose spikes?
This one might sound surprising, but vinegar can be a powerful tool for glucose control.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical, but also intrigued. How does that work?
Vinegar contains acetic acid,
Okay.
which interacts with your digestive enzymes.
Okay.
Think of those enzymes as little scissors that break down food.
Okay.
Acetic acid temporarily slows down those scissors,
Interesting.
leading to a slower release of glucose into your bloodstream.
So it's like putting a speed bump on the glucose highway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Studies show that vinegar can reduce those spikes by up to 30%.
Wow.
And it's a lot easier to stomach diluted in water.
Right.
So a little vinegar tonic before your biggest meal can make a real difference.
Okay, I'm adding vinegar to my shopping list.
Great.
What's the next hack in our glucose-busting arsenal?
This one brings us back to fiber.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about it slowing down glucose absorption? Well, starting your meal with a serving of vegetables creates a sort of protective barrier in your intestines.
I'm picturing a fiber shield
Mm-hmm.
protecting me from those glucose spikes.
That's a great way to visualize it.
So a simple salad before pasta
Yeah.
can really make a difference.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And it's not just for pasta.
Okay.
Any meal that's heavy in carbs, whether it's rice bread or potatoes,
Right.
can benefit from a veggie starter.
Got it. So far, we've got savory breakfasts,
Mm-hmm.
vinegar tonics,
Yes,
and veggie starters.
that's right.
What's the final hack to complete our glucose goddess toolkit?
The last hack is all about getting your body moving after meals.
Okay, so instead of that post-meal slump,
Yeah,
we should be aiming for a post-meal stroll.
exactly.
Okay.
When you move your muscles, act like sponges absorbing glucose from your bloodstream.
Ah.
This helps regulate your blood sugar levels and prevents those energy crashes.
So we're literally burning off that glucose
You got it.
with movement.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah. It's a lot more appealing than a post-meal nap.
it.
And you don't need to run a marathon.
Right.
Just 10 minutes of walking, cleaning up, or even doing some calf raises under your desk can make a difference.
I'm seeing a theme here.
Okay.
Small changes,
Yeah,
big impact.
exactly.
It seems like the glucose goddess is all about making healthy habits easy to integrate into our lives.
She is.
That's awesome.
It's about sustainability.
And these aren't just theories.
Right.
Jesse conducted a study
Yes, she did?
with over 2,700 people
Yeah.
using these 4 hacks.
Yeah.
And the results were amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What kind of changes did people see?
Hold on tight because we're about to dive into the incredible results of this study
Ooh,
and explore how managing your glucose can impact various aspects of your life.
this is fascinating stuff. I can't wait to hear more.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
All right, you mentioned some amazing results from a study. What happened when people started implementing these glucose hacks?
Over 90% of the participants reported reduced cravings
Wow.
and increased energy.
Mm.
They also experienced significant improvements in their sleep hormonal balance, skin health, and even their mood.
That's incredible. And it's all from making these simple changes. I remember you mentioned a man who reversed his type 2 diabetes using these strategies.
Yeah, his story is really inspiring. He was able to regain control of his health by understanding how food impacted his blood sugar. It shows how empowering this knowledge can be. And it's not just about diabetes. Managing glucose levels can have a positive impact on conditions like PCOS and even fertility.
That's so interesting. We've talked about physical health, but can these glucose spikes also affect our mental and emotional well-being?
They absolutely can. Think about how irritable you feel when you're hungry. That's your blood sugar dipping. There's even research linking unstable glucose levels to increased aggression. One study asked couples to stick pins in voodoo dolls,
Oh my gosh.
representing their partners whenever they felt annoyed. Those with erratic blood sugar were significantly more likely to, let's say, overuse those pins.
Okay, I see your point. Maybe we should all be checking our blood sugar before any arguments. But seriously, it makes sense that those sugar crashes could make us more prone to mood swings.
And it's not just about snapping at our loved ones. Unstable glucose can make it harder to focus, stick to healthy habits, and achieve goals. Imagine trying to resist cravings or stay motivated when your brain is running on fumes.
So it's like our willpower is directly tied to our glucose levels.
In a way, yes, when your blood sugar is stable, your brain has the fuel it needs to function optimally. You can think clearly, make better decisions, and stay focused on your goals, but when it's all over the place, it's a constant struggle.
That explains those afternoon slumps. So what can we do to keep our brains running smoothly throughout the day?
It all comes back to those hacks we discussed. A savory breakfast sets the tone for the day. Vinegar helps regulate glucose absorption. Fiber slows down digestion. And exercise helps your muscles use up that glucose. These strategies work together to create a more stable environment for your brain and body.
It seems like these strategies could also benefit cognitive performance. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Your brain needs a constant supply of glucose to function at its best. If you're experiencing those spikes and crashes, it's like trying to run a car on low-grade fuel. It can affect your memory, concentration, and overall cognitive abilities.
That makes perfect sense. I'm starting to think we should all be paying more attention to our glucose levels, especially before important meetings or presentations. What about sleep? Does glucose play a role there too?
It definitely can. Jesse mentioned that she wakes up hungry if she eats a high glucose dinner, suggesting a link between those evening sugar spikes and sleep quality.
I've definitely experienced that late night hunger after a sugary dessert. It sounds like those spikes might be messing with our sleep, even if we don't realize it.
Exactly. And when we don't sleep well, our glucose regulation is further thrown off, leading to more cravings and fatigue the next day. It's a vicious cycle.
So stable glucose is important for a good night's sleep. Is there any point in life where managing glucose becomes even more challenging?
One life stage where glucose regulation often becomes more difficult is menopause. Research shows that women's glucose responses to food increase after menopause, making them more susceptible to those spikes and dips.
That's interesting. So those menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and mood swings could be related to blood sugar fluctuations?
There's definitely a connection. While menopause is a natural transition, managing your glucose through those same hacks, savory breakfast, vinegar, fiber, and exercise, can make a big difference in how you feel. It's about taking proactive steps to support your body during this time.
It's empowering to know that we're not just at the mercy of our hormones. We can actively manage our health during all stages of life. But let's be realistic. We live in a world surrounded by sugary temptations. How can we manage our glucose when it feels like everything is designed to sabotage our efforts?
You bring up a really important point. Managing our glucose goes beyond individual choices. It's also about acknowledging the influence of the environment we live in.
I'm all ears. It's no secret that we're bombarded with processed foods, sugary drinks, and tempting treats. How do we navigate this tricky food landscape?
Jesse talks about the rise of GLP-1 drugs medications that were originally developed for diabetes management, but are now gaining popularity for weight loss. They mimic a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar and appetite.
I've heard about those. They seem like a promising solution for people struggling with weight and metabolic issues.
While they can be helpful for some, Jesse sees them as a sign of a much bigger problem. Our toxic food environment. It's like we're trying to fix the consequences of an unhealthy system instead of addressing the root cause.
So instead of tackling the overabundance of unhealthy food, we're relying on medication to manage the fallout.
Exactly. It raises important questions about systemic solutions. Should we be regulating sugar content in processed foods? Should we be educating people to make more informed choices? And should we be ensuring access to healthy, affordable food for everyone?
These are big questions that go beyond personal responsibility. It's a conversation we need to be having as a society.
Absolutely. It's about creating an environment that supports healthy choices instead of constantly tempting us with unhealthy ones.
It's inspiring to see individuals like Jesse advocating for change and raising awareness about these issues. It gives me hope that we can create a healthier future for ourselves and generations to come.
It's a journey that starts with awareness and small changes, and those small changes can have a ripple effect. So as you go about your day, I encourage you to remember what we've discussed today.
Think about those savory breakfasts, that vinegar tonic, and the power of adding a veggie starter to your meals. Consider how those choices might not only improve your physical health, but also boost your mood, sharpen your focus, and even strengthen your relationships.
You've got it, and remember, you are not alone in this. Millions of people around the world are discovering the power of managing their glucose, and the results are truly remarkable. So take that first step. Embrace those small changes and experience the incredible transformation that awaits you.
This has been such an enlightening deep dive. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of how glucose impacts every aspect of our lives.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you. We've explored the science behind those sneaky glucose spikes, learned practical hacks to take control of our blood sugar, and even touched upon the bigger picture of our food environment and the need for systemic solutions.
And it all comes back to making informed choices one meal at a time. We've busted some sugar myths, explored the science behind those sneaky glucose spikes, and learned about simple, practical hacks to take control of our blood sugar.
We've also touched upon the bigger picture, the food environment we live in, and the need for systemic solutions to create a healthier world for everyone. Remember, even small tweaks can create a ripple effect of positive change.
If you're looking for more information and inspiration on your glucose journey, we highly recommend checking out the Glucose Goddess herself, Jesse Inchauspé. Her books and online resources are packed with science-backed tips and inspiring stories. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and dive deep into the world around you.
Yeah, it really is amazing to think about how something like managing our glucose can have such a profound impact on so many different things in our lives. It really is.
Our health,
Yeah,
our relationships,
absolutely.
our ability to, achieve goals and things like that.
It's all connected.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Without.
From the science of glucose spikes to those simple yet powerful hacks.
The hacks are great.
It's clear that, knowledge is power
Yes.
when it comes to making healthier choices.
Awareness is key.
Exactly. And it's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Exactly.
Even incorporating one or two of those hacks into your routine can make a big difference.
For sure.
Yeah. So start with something that feels achievable for you. Whether it's that savory breakfast, the vinegar tonic, or, adding more veggies to your plate.
Absolutely.
It's those small, consistent steps
Yes.
that lead to lasting change.
That's the key.
Well, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
Good.
And it's empowering to realize that we have more control over our health
You do.
than we might realize.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners out there, I would love to leave you with this question. What one glucose hack are you willing to try today?
Ooh, good question.
And what positive change are you hoping to experience in your life?
That's great.
And if you're feeling inspired and want to learn more, we highly recommend checking out Jesse Inchauspé's work.
Yes.
Her website and books offer a deep dive into the world of glucose and provide practical tips to help you on your journey.
Lots of great information out there.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
It's been fun.
And to all of our listeners out there, until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
See ya.